This is Marcus Johnson at the 8/18/2025 meeting with the Senate. Senator Warner's asking him questions about the fraud issue in Arizona. Now, at the end of this, I'm going to share with you why I think the state needs to be investigated, Access needs to be, and the OIG needs to be investigated, and their leaders for fraud themselves against providers. Listen.
It depicts cost avoidance and dollars that we are seeking to recover in our OIG cases. That's the Office of the Inspector General. I'll start in state fiscal year 2022. You can see that it was $32,900,000. 2023, it jumped up to $272 million. 24, $301 million. And in SFY, in state fiscal year 2025, $945 million. That essentially, when we talk about cost avoidance, means that if we were to have continued to pay the providers that we had suspended or taken action against, if we had continued to pay them for an additional year, this is the total amount of money that would have gone out the door to those providers.
So I'm the one that wrote in the purple and the black, okay? And these are questions for you, Marcus Johnson, as you sat up here and talked to Senator Warner and others in the public regarding this number. I think this number explains what Access is really doing, in my opinion. They are excluding, terminating, and suspending providers. Sometimes many of them should not be, or should be cleared pretty quickly due to reasoning that they provide. They're being excluded, terminated, and suspended without any questions being asked, which I think is completely wrong. Suspended providers for an allegation of fraud are still referred clients to their programs to see those clients essentially for free. They do so in the hope, in the lure of Vanessa Templeman and her team that, in my opinion, lures them down a path of hope, only to exclude them at the end and not paying them for services rendered. I think that this number represents an intentional fraud by Access to providers, in my opinion. And I think that Access needs to be investigated, and the OIG investigated for their fraudulent behavior towards providers and towards people in our state, and what this true number represents. Because it doesn't just represent accurate funding to real fraudulent people. This number represents what Access is refusing to pay legitimate providers. In addition, what they're doing to legitimate providers without cause. This number represents very different than what you explain it to represent, doesn't it? I think you need to be held accountable as a director and other leaders as well, and be investigated immediately. It's all my opinion.